Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Gonna be giving you my player ratings from our 0-0 draw against Leeds at Elland Road. So Dean Henderson, I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. Dean Henderson made some straightforward saves in the game, but apart from that, had little to do. Dean Henderson was obviously in goal for the game against Burnley the other week, and he had very shaky moments when he was off his line, but he was better against Leeds. I reckon Dean Henderson is now our number one, because he's been in goal a lot in the last month or so. He's reliable enough to be our number one because Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's also had other loan spells before. And before the start of this season, he signed a 6-year contract with Man United. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. And Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Put a confident performance out against Jack Harrison. Also created a chance for Bruno Fernandes in the game. And Wan-Bissaka also showed some good attacking intent, and defensively he was quite good. And Wan-Bissaka has got a long-term future at Manchester United. This has been his second full season at the club. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Victor Lindelof, I'm also going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he dealt quite well with Patrick Bamford. Nullified his threat. He did make one poor pass though in the game. Lindelof has been at the club now quite a few years. We got him in a deal worth 31 million from Benfica. He's had quite a few good games at Manchester United, but a lot of his games he hasn't been consistent enough. And as you all know, I've always had my strong reservations about Lindelof. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Harry Maguire, I was disappointed with him, so I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Harry Maguire's passing was wayward and he was poor on and off the ball. He had a bust-up with Fred, by the way. Harry Maguire, I think, called Fred a fucking idiot. Harry Maguire certainly wasn't worth the £80 million we got him for. So we certainly overpaid for him. He's the second most expensive signing at the club behind Pogba, and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. So just a 5 out of 10 for him. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he enjoyed a pretty good game, showed some good attacking intent, provided that width. Defensively, Luke Shaw was quite good. Luke Shaw has been our best player this season. He's had a good career at Manchester United despite his injuries. Shaw has been at the club now over 6 years, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last summer. By the way, Luke Shaw was lucky not to give away a penalty because the ball hit his hand. So that was one of the talking points of the game. Paul Scholes reckons that Leeds United should have had a penalty. And reports came out yesterday saying that Manchester United are willing to offer Luke Shaw a new 5-year contract worth £190,000 a week. So he's going to be given a £40,000 pay rise. He deserves it, reflecting on his good performances. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Fred, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he put a poor performance out. You know, his passing was poor. His reading of the game was poor. But his work rate wasn't too bad. Fred wasn't worth the £52 million we got him for from Shakhtar Donetsk. Don't get me wrong, he's enjoyed some good games at Manchester United, but he's also enjoyed a lot of bad games. He's nowhere near on that level where we want him to be at. So just a 4 out of 10 for him, unfortunately. McTominay, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he put a poor performance out as well. Obviously, McTominay was superb in the game against Leeds at Old Trafford. You know, he was the difference in that game because obviously McTominay had scored 2 goals. McTominay's been part of the club for a while. Just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the football club. Just a 4 out of 10 for him, unfortunately. Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Didn't really do much today. I think he had a chance in the game, but obviously it was wasteful. We've overplayed Bruno Fernandes. You know, in quite a few games now, he has looked off the pace, and I said at some point he needs a rest. But earlier on this season, Bruno Fernandes denied that he needed a rest. Obviously, he said he came to Manchester to win trophies. But in a lot of Bruno Fernandes' games, he has been very, very consistent. You know, he has been at the club now for over a year. Don't forget, Fernandes said on his 12-month anniversary back in January that he's planning on spending many years at Manchester United. He is our best player and he's probably one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has won Player of the Month now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Now, as you all know, Bruno Fernandes will sign a new contract at Manchester United and stay at the club, but only if Paul Pogba does. So Paul Pogba is key to Bruno Fernandes signing the new contract. Earlier on this season, it said Bruno Fernandes was refusing to sign a new contract until he has assurances over our transfer plans. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025. There is an option to extend for a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. So just a 5 out of 10 for him. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Greenwood, I think, did have a chance in the game, but he didn't get enough service. So reflecting on that, for large periods of the game, Greenwood was isolated. I don't really say that too often regarding Greenwood because he's done well in the vast majority of his games at Man United. He broke into our senior squad in 2019, didn't he? And he's been a United player since the age of 7. Earlier on this season, he signed a new 4-year contract with Manchester United. Ollie has been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. Obviously, at the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. He was obviously playing up top, was Mason Greenwood. Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Pretty average performance. Marcus Rashford had some chances in the game. One was from a free kick, which produced a good save from Mejele. Marcus Rashford showed some nice moves and skills at times, but he still looks injured to me, does Marcus Rashford. He doesn't look fully fit, and Rashford has become injury prone at Manchester United because he has now sustained quite a few injuries. Recently, he's been having problems with his foot. Daniel James, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. I thought he enjoyed a very, very poor game, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, he was making runs quite a few times, but I thought his decision-making on the ball was very, very poor. I was surprised at Daniel James starting because I didn't think he would have started. So just a 3 out of 10 for him. Now, obviously, Solskjaer brought substitutions on in the game. We saw Paul Pogba come on. I'll give him a 7 out of 10 because he actually made an impact when he came on. Donny van de Beek, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. And Edinson Cavani also came on. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. So that is your player ratings from our 0-0 draw with Leeds. To be honest with you, I thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the team selection wrong yesterday. So Solskjaer is to blame in that aspect, and even Paul Scholes came out and said that he was surprised that Edinson Cavani and Paul Pogba started on the bench. I expected Edinson Cavani and Paul Pogba to both start. And I think Ollie brought the substitutions on too late. He should have brought them on earlier on in the game. Like I said on my match reaction yesterday, it was a very, very poor game. There wasn't that many chances either. Defensively, Leeds were very, very good. There was some good performance for Leeds. I thought Calvin Phillips put a very, very good performance out. He's done very, very well for Leeds, to his credit, since he's come back. Both of Leeds' centre-halves did very, very well yesterday as well. Helder Costa, don't forget, he had a good chance in the game. Hit the roofing of the net. Luke Ayling had a long-range effort, but it was a straightforward save from Dean Henderson. We had quite a lot of shots though in the game. I think Man United had around 16 shots. We also had more possession. But from a Leeds perspective, they'll be very, very delighted with the draw. Like I said, Leeds have done well against the big teams this season. They drew 0-0 with us yesterday. They drew with Liverpool 1-1 not so long ago. They beat Man City the other week 2-1. Drew at Ellen Road with Chelsea 0-0. Won away at Leicester. Drew with Arsenal. Drew with Man City at Ellen Road. So there you go. But I was expecting Manchester United to win this game. Because we have been in very good form, haven't we? And we've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We are now unbeaten in our last 24 Premier League away games. I certainly wasn't expecting it to be 0-0 the game yesterday, that's for sure. The game was totally different to the game at Old Trafford earlier on this season. But you've got to give credit to Leeds. You know, they've enjoyed a good season to their standards. This has been their first season in the Premier League since 2004. Leeds got relegated from the Premier League in 2004. You know, they was out of the top flight for like 16 years. But last season, Leeds won the Championship. That was their first trophy in 28 years. You know, yesterday was the first time we played at Ellen Road in the Premier League since 2003. You know, we did beat Leeds earlier on this season, 6-2 at Old Trafford. Yeah, that's probably one of our best performances this season. You know, we're beating them 4-0 in pre-season in the summer of 2019 in Australia. And obviously we're beating them at Ellen Road in the League Cup 3-0 back in 2011, 10 years ago now. The last time Leeds beat us was in the FA Cup third round in January 2010. It was 1-0, you know, Jermaine Beckford had scored. You know, Marcelo Bielsa, he's a good manager. You've got to give him credit, you know, the way he's transformed Leeds. He's got a pretty good pedigree behind him as well, because he used to manage in Argentina. I don't really recall Bielsa winning anything though. A lot of years ago he worked with Pep Guardiola. Obviously, Marcelo Bielsa taught Pep Guardiola, and obviously Pep Guardiola is now following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy at Manchester City. Marcelo Bielsa's current contract with Leeds expires in the summer. Will he sign a 1-year contract extension? Because last time I read up regarding it, it says a new contract for Bielsa is being delayed. Anyway, our next game is Roma in the Europa League semi-final first leg. It's at Old Trafford. It's Thursday, 8 o'clock kick-off. And that is a massive game for Manchester United against Roma. Not so long ago, Solskjaer spoke about Manchester United facing Roma in the Europa League semi-finals, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017, so if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'll be exactly 4 years without a trophy. I think we've got a very, very good chance of winning it. I presume a lot of people will hope for the Manchester United and Arsenal final, you know, an all-English final. The last time we played Roma was in the Champions League, I think. We're beating them 7-1. You know, it's 5 semi-finals in total under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. By the way, the preview for the Roma game will be coming up either tonight or it will be at some point tomorrow. If we fail to win the Europa League this season, we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be sacked. That's already been made clear. But I've already said that Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United because progress has been made. Our next league game is Liverpool at Old Trafford. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the Premier League this season. We'll probably finish second. Obviously, we know we're not going to win the league. We're too far behind City. We're 10 points behind Manchester City. But Solskjaer did say earlier on this season we will never ever give up on the Premier League title. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. In the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. And I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. We need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a centre-half, we need a defensive midfielder. Earlier on this season, it said that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window. But Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. He did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic. But he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window because obviously we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football, and we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. He does deserve more backing at the club, does Ollie, because I feel as though he hasn't been backed enough yet. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. On my next video, I'll probably be giving you an update on some more transfer news. Now, you know the news regarding the Glazers and that. Manchester United fans were recently protesting against the Glazer family outside Old Trafford. And our fans burnt the American flag. Not so long ago, our fans protested against the Glazers at Carrington. He said our fans were blocking entrances into the Carrington training ground. And there was banners and it said 51%, MUFC 20 and Glazers out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insists that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United. And he told protesters not so long ago that Joe Glazer loves the club. The Red Knights have recently told the Glazers to sell Man United. The Glazers want £4 billion to sell the club. The Glazers said sorry not so long ago. Joe Glazer released a statement and he apologised to Manchester United fans for the European Super League plan. It'd be the right decision for the Glazers to leave Man United. We need to recommend new owners in because I hate the way the club has been run for a long time now. The Glazers have been at Man United like 16 years. They've been with us since 2005. You obviously know the news regarding Ed Woodward, don't you? Apparently, Ed Woodward will choose our next chief executive before he leaves. Now, it says there could be 5 candidates we could look at to replace Ed Woodward, but it did mention that Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. If we got Edwin van der Sar in, it would be the right decision by Manchester United, because obviously Edwin van der Sar knows the club well and he's got that experience. Edwin van der Sar is currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment. You've got to credit him for how well he has been doing at Ajax. Don't forget, Edwin van der Sar was linked with the technical director's role at Manchester United. But it got announced, didn't it, last week that Ed Woodward resigns as Manchester United vice chairman, and it said he will stand down at the end of the year. I presume all United fans were happy with that announcement, because obviously we've been very critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. You know, Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. So who will we getting to replace Ed Woodward? But obviously Woodward has stood by Solskjaer. He said earlier on this season that I believe Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. And he released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Woodward has showed his support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer several times, even when he was enduring them really, really bad periods. Well, in regards to Solskjaer, he is our best manager since Ferguson. But I'll stick to what I've said. He's not the long-term manager for Manchester United. Next season, we will analyse it, and we'll see if Solskjaer's done well enough. If he doesn't do well enough next season, then I think there's a good chance that Man United will sack him at some point next season or the end of next season. A lot of United fans are critical of Solskjaer, and obviously reflects on that. A lot of United fans have been demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the football club. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out. But I still presume that there's quite a lot of United fans that are Ole in and they believe that he needs more time at the club. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Solskjaer agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Solskjaer's just got under a year left on his current 3-year contract. Like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Solskjaer. You know, he doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me. So they are my 2 biggest concerns. Before Solskjaer was at Man United, he was at Molde, won a few Norwegian titles there, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Don't forget, he managed Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. But reflecting now on Solskjaer's been with us, you know, he has gained some managerial experience, which is good, and he's tried a few different elements and all of that. He's learnt a few stuff on the job. You know, he's been Man United manager now over 2 years, and this is his second full season. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. And obviously Solskjaer's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club decided to give him the job permanently a couple of years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United he was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. The main explanation he's still with us is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. Disregarding being a club legend, I'm almost certain he wouldn't have been here now, because we have enjoyed very bad periods under Holloway can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. But there's a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer. You know, we've enjoyed good periods under him. We're second in the Premier League. Got a very good away record in the Premier League under him as well. You know, he's got us to the Europa League semi-final this season, got us to the FA Cup quarters this season, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. You know, he did well last season in his first full season, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish, the second highest we've finished since Ferguson. You know, he has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood. I like the way he has promoted the youth, and he's beaten quite a few big name managers. So they are the positives. So anyway guys, we'll be doing another video later on. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.